evidence that what we have today in Jamaica is the most corrupt administration that has ever held office in the history of our country since independence.
What is this man talking about? Well, make me make the statement, backed up by facts, that the PNP is the most corrupt political organization in the Caribbean. When we face our challenges, there is no one who could criticize this government to say that we were covering up corruption. No, the Jamaica Labour Party stands firmly against corruption, and we will put in place and have been putting in place the measures to address.
Hello brothers and sisters, I hope you're all doing fine. So let's have a look at this video about Usain Bolt and the government and what's really going on in the Caribbean. Then have a discussion at the end of it. Thank you so much.
Pushing scandal.
If you go back to 1989, which is a long time ago, you would hear about the Rollins land deal scandal.
Police use car scandal.
If you go back to 1990, you remember the zinc scandal after Hurricane Gilbert.
FLA scandal.
You have the furniture scandal. Then you have the Shell waiver scandal.
$8 million phone bill scandal.
Then you have a big scandal in 1992 over the illegal importation of motor vehicles. Then in 1993, we hear some man buy US dollar out of the back of them car all over. Big scandal.
$9 million travel scandal at TPD. The government have more scandal in it than Riverton City have scandal back.
You hear about the corrupt distribution of land in Holland. You hear about the Operation Pride scandal. Then in 1997, you have the FinSac scandal.
And then we have the super scandal, the Petrojan scandal. That one have everything in it.
And then now you have the mother of all scandal, the traffic guru scandal. You remember that?
Friends of the government collecting money for travel, but not traveling.
The Montego Bay street people scandal. The fat cat salary scandal. You remember NetServe? Yes.
Friends of the government getting jobs at 3 times the pay that the previous occupants of the job had. While at the same time, long-serving, loyal, patriotic civil servants being fired from jobs.
Then you have the Sandals White House scandal. Then now, after that, you come up with the Cuban light bulb scandal. You remember that? You have the Hanover Parish Council scandal.
Friends of the government and activists for the JLP getting jobs in organizations for which they don't have qualifications.
Then you have the Chick V scandal. Then you have the dead baby scandal. Then you have the bad gas scandal. Then you have now the parish council in a Manchester scandal.
Friends being awarded contracts by breaking the procurement rules, and some of those friends is the same people that turn up in the bushing scandal.
You remember Outer Many scandal? You remember EWI energy scandal?
Never in our history have we heard of a government entering into verbal contracts. No paper, no sign. Just word of mouth. $23 million. What madness is this going on in our country, Africa?
You can't cuss me when you corrupt.
Thank God for the opposition in Parliament. Thank God for the PNAC and the PNP members and the PAAC.
We already know that in bad mind, him the likes of people prosper. And now we know that him is nothing but a hypocrite. There will always be in every government, regardless of jurisdiction, people who breach the rule, people who use their power unjustly, unfairly, and unduly. The mark of the good government is that when it is done, there is no cover-up. When we face our challenges, there is no one who could criticize this government to say that we were covering up corruption. No, the Jamaica Labour Party stands firmly against corruption, and we will put in place and have been putting in place the measures to address.
Used as most people regarding the multi-million-dollar fraud case involving his account at local investment house Stocks and Securities Limited SSL. But the world's fastest man left no doubts about the split between himself and his longtime former business manager.
In his first public comment since news broke that he had been defrauded of millions of US dollars from his account at local investment house Stocks and Securities Limited SSL, the world's fastest man Usain Bolt struck a resilient tone. Interestingly, the 8-time Olympic champion says he has drawn on the mental toughness he learned throughout his illustrious career to help him navigate the stresses of his current plight.
For me, it's tough, you know, but I think through the years of competing, that helped me to understand and just focus on what's the matter. I leave the matter in my lawyer's hand, you understand? I'm just trying to focus on my family and try not to think too much about it because it's a stressful situation.
Bolt also cleared the air on the parting between himself and longtime business manager Norman Peart.
It was simple. He was fired. That's pretty much all I have to say. My lawyer said, no, I shouldn't say a lot about that, but it was not amicable. He was fired.
The allegations have played out largely in the public domain, but Bolt says he has no more clarity than the average Joe. So how much of a hit was it?
I'm not broke, but it's definitely put a damper on me. You understand? It was for my future. Everybody knows I have 3 kids. Still looking out for my parents, and I still want to live very well.
And for any Jamaican who thought the 36-year-old sprint legend was thinking of moving to a foreign land because of his current predicament, he had this message.
I just want to say to Jamaica that no matter what's going on right now, Jamaica is my country and it will never change, and I will always love my country and always do everything in my power to uplift this country no matter what's going on. Thank you very much.
Bolt was speaking at the launch of the Gibson McCook Relays, where he will be the patron of the...
Hello everyone. Now, I've been following the story about one and only Usain Bolt. Now, the legend himself. Now, there is a story trending about some of his property having maybe been interfered by the government with this corruption scandal that is still in courts in Jamaica. And it really pains me. This story, I was actually going through it, and I can say things that are not even to be said. But one thing, it's so sad to see a government that should be protecting the wealth or property of common Jamaicans who have earned it through sweat and blood. But the same government goes ahead to play with the same properties, to play with the same wealth of common Jamaicans. Now, if this was done to Usain Bolt, what about some other Jamaicans who have no say in the same country they live in? Brothers and sisters, this is the time we should rise and speak truth to power. Many people told me that I should not be talking about this matter because it belongs to the courts. But the same constitution says that everyone has the freedom to speech, and your opinions should be respected as well. But you should not try to manipulate in any way the decisions that should be made in court of justice. I'm not trying to do that, but I'm trying to say that the government of Jamaica has failed in a way. I saw the Minister for Finance, Nigel Clark, coming out to give a statement, and he was on a radio trying to tell Jamaicans that they should cool down. The government is investigating and everything will be okay. The same government that has been involved in corruption, how do you believe the same government to do a just process of investigation? Do you understand whatever I'm saying? The same dog that has eaten its kitten. How do you believe the same dog, its puppy I mean, how believe of the same dog to safeguard the meat that you brought home? Or the same cat that drinks milk without permission or given, how do you expect of the same cat to take care of eggs? So it's a matter of integrity. And when integrity is mentioned, most of our black countries can't measure up to that word, because we've been seeing these things happening. If the Prime Minister has been accused, I don't know if he's found guilty or not, but he has been accused. It started way in 2019. 5 years later, he still has a case to answer. There is no difficult thing as to investigate someone who is in power, because they do everything to frustrate the investigations. And they do everything to hide the truth. So, brothers and sisters, this is not the time to side with the oppressors. If someone is corrupt, it means they kill. A corrupt person is a killer. They do anything to safeguard and take and loot people's taxes, resources, hard-earned properties, hard-earned wealth of common Jamaicans. If this could has been done to Usain Bolt, what makes you think that it can't be done to you? Jamaicans, wake up. This is the time. You shall speak without fear of intimidation, without the fear of coercion. When truth is fabricated, the danger is bigger than you think. When people live in fear of talking the truth, it is same as a dictatorial country, because the truth should be spoken. People should speak whatever they think of the government that is in power. Brothers and sisters, Jamaicans, you should wake up. Things are happening in your countries, in your country, but no one wants to speak about that. Just because of party politics, someone is siding with Mark Golding of PNP, the other one is siding with the Prime Minister of GLP. These things, corruption has no friend. Corruption should never be praised in any way. Corruption is the biggest monster we have in our countries. How many people die in hospital because the funds that were to be facilitated into the same hospital were taken and pocketed by a greedy person? Then you go ahead to sideline with a greedy person, with a corrupt. Do you even get benefit from the proceeds of corruption? Not to mention the side effects and the problems that it brings to the society and to your life. Imagine in a situation where a cancer unit, and there is money that has been set aside for that cancer unit, then just because someone is in power and is so greedy, he wants his company to grow, his companies to flourish and be named one of the best in the Caribbean or in the world or in the US, then they go ahead in collaboration with some other greedy people who they work with in the same government. They go ahead and take the funds, leave the people dying in beds, no dialysis, no chemos, People are dying in hospitals, insecurity everywhere, bad roads, no good funding for schools. The social health is at risk, but we still come to defend them on social media and say this is the best prime minister, this is the best opposition leader, this is the best member of the representative house. We must be having a problem. We are all suffering from phobia, political phobia, in that there is some fear that comes when we mention the prime minister, when we mention the president, when we mention the minister for this, minister for that. These people are in office because we the people, we the citizens of these countries have allowed them to be in office. However much I would not love to see my country being ruled by a military or something, but I still want to see my country doing well politically, doing well socially, economically. And I'll have no problem. My work is to pay tax and vote and enjoy the services as a happy citizen of that country. But when things are turned upside down, and we the people, because of the brainwashing that has been done to us, we still support the evil that happens in our society. That's why corruption will never stop. Crime will never stop. Bad leadership will never stop. Mismanagement of public resources will never stop. Politicians will never change, because we the people have allowed them to do these things to us. And as a matter of fact, we suffer from Stockholm Syndrome, where we actually want to defend their process. We side with them. We side with their bad policies. We go on social media, praise them. Leave alone my prime minister. Leave alone my opposition leader. Leave alone my member of parliament. Leave alone my minister for finance, or this or that. And when they see that there is glory in the evil they are doing, they continue doing the same things. Then they come, bribe us. After 3, 4 years, 5 years, then we elect them. This is the evil that is in our black countries, and this is the time we should talk about them. The evils that exist because of the ignorance by the black people, black community, by the people in that country. Brothers and sisters, let's wake up. The slumber has gone too far. Let's wake up. Let's do things in a way that will benefit the generations to come. If we leave bad things, our generations are going to inherit a very, very damaged world. See you. Thank you for having taken the time to watch this video. Give it a thumbs up. I love you all.